all know the salaries of our public servants. They're known. And nobody stops you from doing what you do with your earnings. However, one can draw a correlation and say, last week you hosted this delegation, you gave 2 million. You went to church, you gave another 2 million. In this particular month, your contributions, what you're calling philanthropic contributions, what we are calling as handout culture, is more than 15, 20 million. And that's a consistent thing you've done. If statistics were to be placed, the amount of money that the Deputy President, in his goodwill nature, if you can call it that, has given out goes beyond his anticipated or his known incomes. That's the question that we are asking. There was a certain lady 2 weeks ago who was splashed in the newspaper, a certain assistant director of, I think, Kura or somebody, that in a particular year she bought 14 apartments. And this lady was being put to task to show how does her known salary, how has it helped out, how did she get this wealth given her known salary? And that's a very low civil servant. And those are questions that are being asked to the lowly, but to the mighty. Today, you can draw a line between that which is being given in good hands or that which has been given as proceeds of crime or as enhancing this culture of handout. And that is what we are calling out. And that needs to be the conversation. If you are giving beyond your means, how do you sustain this culture? Remember, in the fight against corruption during President Moi's time, what was the problem? The problem was that people perceived corruption starting from the head office, from the CEO's office, from the president's office. Now you have a candidate who is aspiring to be the CEO of our country, and that candidate, the means of getting there is this handout culture. When he gets there, how will he sustain that culture without stealing? That's the problem that we must ask ourselves. That is the question people within NASA are asking. How sustainable is this thing? And how are you going to ensure that you draw a fine line between corruption and philanthropic activities? And because we know that fine line does not exist, we need to call it for what it is. A handout culture that will lead to a lot of corruption in this country.
Jesse, it's a dicey affair.
Jesse, can I have the right of response?
Yeah, quite so.
If you stop corruption, you will stop worrying about who's giving what because you know there is no corruption.
There are no proceeds of crime,
it is very difficult unless somebody has been prosecuted and found to have engaged in corruption and that there is proof that this money is a product of corruption. It is very difficult based on opinion alone or perception or political leaning to adjudge someone to be corrupt. So if we stop corruption, let us stop corruption